Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Plant Powered Conversations that Sprout Ethical Change. I'm Brieanah and I'm here with my friend Johanna.
Hi.
And today, as promised, we are talking about everything ads. If you haven't caught last month's episode, definitely go back and check it out. We did a deep dive into emails. Who knows, we might go through a whole funnel and just do copy edits of everything to give you guys advice. In December, we have something special planned for you, though. I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but you'll definitely want to stay tuned for our December episode. To kick things off, I wanted to kind of set the tone because there's been some news around ads lately internationally that's been kind of exciting. So if you're really deep into the movement, and especially around ads, you might remember that last year, a Dutch city became the world's first to ban meat advertisements in public. They did this because meat was put on a list of products and reasons, etc., of things that are causing climate change. Now, recently, I think it was the beginning of November, actually, 2 more municipalities in the Netherlands did the same thing. I find it really, really interesting because I highly doubt this will ever happen where I am in the US, that we'll see this type of restriction on ads. Because as one article quoted, people started criticizing the move for restricting the choices that people are making and making those decisions for them. But isn't that what some of these manipulative ads are doing anyway?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a really, really interesting move by these 2 cities. And I would love to see more cities take control and step up and say, this is bad for you. This is bad for our planet. And for the common good, we're not going to allow this in city limits, right? What do you think of this move, Johanna?
I think it's great. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if other like European cities are going to like follow suit. Like I know that there is discussion going on like smaller level. Like for example, I've heard stuff from the Helsinki like city council and stuff. Yeah, but I think it's great, and I think honestly, and I hope that we're like following, or the meat industry is going to follow along the lines of what happened with the cigarette or tobacco industry, that so slowly it's going to be like phased out or banned advertising. Maybe I'm too hopeful, but I hope I at least like meat that comes from animals or factory farmed meat. I hope, like, I guess at some point we're going to have cultivated products, but yeah, we're not quite there yet. So
True. It'll be interesting to see if they allow cultivated meat advertising, because the issue is the government, right? The issue is the factory farms, as you point out. So would they allow something sustainable?
Yeah, it's like this interesting, like more philosophical discussion, does it need to come from animals? But yeah, obviously we're living in a world where it comes from factory farmed animals, and that's not okay. So I welcome these moves.
And you'll have to keep us posted about what's going on where you are too.
Yeah.
If anything happens like this, we want to know about it.
Yeah, totally. Let us know.
So just like last time, we've brought some examples. We're going to share our screens, and I'm going to let Johanna go first.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that intro. So I have 3 brands here that I want to showcase, like one ad from each. I have more, but I think I want to try to keep it a bit shorter. And the first one is Oatly. And if you know me or you've been following our discussions, you know that I'm a huge fan of Oatly's marketing, and like Brieanah too. They just have their whole own thing. Like they make fun of themselves, and they make fun of marketing, and they just break all the rules, and that's why I love what they do. So I wanted to show one Meta or like Facebook ad from them. I'll try to find it here and share my screen.
I forgot to mention while you're pulling that up that we are focusing on Meta ads. There are many different kinds of ads, of course, but we will be focusing on Meta, so Instagram and Facebook ads this time.
Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
You can, okay, cool. So here's the ad I want to show. I'll make it bigger soon, but basically it's just like the day we learned that our events manager, Sophie Jensen, was a world-class functional fitness and CrossFit athlete was the day we decided to start sponsoring these athletes. Life is full of these strange coincidences. So I want to show this ad now.
Nej. Nej, men det tror jag inte. Nej. Nej.
So there we go. I've mentioned before my love for this like brand archetypes and working with them, and like kind of Oatly has the jester archetype. They're all about like making fun of and just like being quirky and funny, and I think that's why this ad works so well, because it's just, you know, it's just so weird and it's so much fun, and it just goes so well with what they're doing. But yeah, we said we're not going to talk about so much about the branding, but I think it's like a great example of that. And also I think one of the hooks here is really this like novelty, like new, like what is this? Like I've never seen anything like this, I think, in any milk advertisement. And yeah, I just love the weirdness and funniness, or the fun in it. So I wanted to show you that. Do you have
it's a little like the Wes Anderson trend on social media too. Have you seen those where people are spoofing his movies and they're very dry, like British humor, like hard cuts and odd questions and weird reactions? It's kind of a reflection of that for me too.
Okay, interesting. I don't think I've seen them. No.
Are you familiar with like any of his movies, like Fantastic Mr. Fox or anything like that?
Yeah. So then the next one I wanted to share was Beyond Meat, so another big brand. And so here's the ad. Like I wanted to showcase like the captions are the same in all of these. So delicious taste and meaty texture. We're committed to creating the best products from the best plant-based ingredients. So here the hook really is this kind of like benefit, like get something good and like moving towards pleasure and like a better future. And the video, it's pretty short. It also complements it really well.
At Beyond Meat, our story begins in fields, where farmers plant crops like peas and fava beans. From these we get protein, which we use to create our plant-based meat, such as the Beyond Burger, because plant-based protein is kinder on our beautiful earth, generates fewer emissions, and uses less water, energy, and land. Beyond Meat, there's goodness here. Come join us.
Oops. Yeah. So and in addition, as you can see in this one, they're like leaning on the kind of educational hook as well. Like, you know, people always have their suspicions and skepticism about new products. So education in ads is also like a very powerful way to get people interested and just like share what you're doing. And I think in the food system in general, like there's a couple of things, like a lot of people have no idea how food is produced, like no matter what food, and there's like a lot of mistrust in the industry, in the food system, and also like in particular plant-based meat alternatives, people don't know necessarily where they come from, what they're made of. So I mean, it was a very general quick intro, but I personally love this kind of like showing where the food comes from and educating
Who do
your
you think
target audience. Sorry?
Who do you think they're speaking to?
Yeah, like that's a good question. I mean, I'm a bit biased to say, because like I grew up, like I'm so familiar with farming that like all of this is like, I know this, but I'm wondering if maybe it's like a, like a millennial who grew up in the city, like the people who are like most likely to buy like meat alternatives, but who still might not know anything about like growing food or agriculture. Or is it like, or is it just like the general public, that flexitarians who are curious, but they also are like, but what is this made of? Where does it come from? I'm wondering. I think there might be a couple of target audiences. What do you think?
Yeah, if you go back to the copy for a second,
Mm.
the word that stood out to me
Yeah.
was meaty.
Yeah.
And because at first I was like, oh, Beyond Meat, like that's a really popular brand in plant-based circles, like very well recognized, versus like an Impossible that really, really mimics animal flesh texture. Beyond is like a upgrade from your black bean burger type of situation, right? And so I thought it was interesting that they put meaty texture in, especially paired with the video that talks about the beans and talks about the source of protein. That's one of the biggest objections, right? Like how do plant-based eaters get their protein? And I know the meat eaters in my life are like scared of things that are green, right? So to show and really own the beans part of this and the plants part of this was a very interesting mix to me. So that's why I asked, because I see this as addressing some objections, right? But also, like you said, probably more the omnivore market.
Yeah. Because it is, I mean, I was at this new food conference a couple of weeks ago, like here in Berlin, and again it comes that taste and texture are the biggest obstacles for people. So yeah, probably it is more the omnivore or flexitarian that it's aimed at. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It's a really important point. Cool. And then I'll get to the third one, and these are actually not videos. It's just that I wanted to show a few examples. So it's Veganuary. It's coming up again in January. So there's a lot of these ads, and I wanted to showcase. There's like Alicia Silverstone is mentioned, and Jermaine Dupri. I gotta be honest, I didn't know who this person is, but turns out he's a rapper. And then Alec Baldwin. So there's the copy is kind of the same. Join Alicia Silverstone. Join this and try Veganuary. It's free. We'll send you everything you need, including a cookbook, meal plans, and nutrition guides. So it's mostly just like not videos. Like I'm not going to click on the Alec Baldwin now, but I wanted to showcase these because of like well, I mean, celebrity endorsements. It's not really like huge news that's a powerful way to influence people. If somebody you look up to or you're interested in is doing something like this, and endorsing, you're more likely to try. It's just builds trust and credibility. And it could also be just, it doesn't need to be a celebrity. It also works if you showcase like customer testimonials or your friend recommends something. And I think this also speaks to your ego a little bit, like, oh, okay, cool. These like cool celebrities are doing something. I want to be maybe more like them. And then in addition, there's a couple of, like, I wanted to point out the word free, because like they make it sound like well, first of all, that you get stuff for free, you don't need to pay anything, and this is like a powerful way to influence people. And also they try to make it sound like it's easy. We'll send you everything you need, including a cookbook, meal plans, and nutrition guides. And I think somewhere they even mentioned like straight to your inbox. So again, it's like making it easier for people to like jump in and try. But I have some critique about these ads too, and I think they're a bit generic. And as we know, good copy is specific. Like I would maybe, I'm curious, like you could mention the exact number of recipes people get, like because like specific numbers are interesting, or like how are there like this celebrity, because like I checked and there's like a celebrity cookbook that you get, like is it their favorite recipes? I think this, or something they created, I think this would be interesting to mention, or something about the meal plan, like what, like more kind of benefits and not just like these features of what you get with the, or maybe quotes from these people. So yeah, right now it feels like a little bit generic, so I wanted to mention that. Yeah, but those were my examples. Do you do these bring up anything for you, Brieanah?
Totally agree with your critique for sure. I think these could be a lot more powerful, especially if Alicia Silverstone, who's spoken at vegan conferences before, they could probably get her to do a little 90-second reel and say, or even 30 seconds, just join Veganuary, like, you know, and that would be way more impactful than just a static image. Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool that you did a deep dive to see what it is that they get, because they could definitely talk about that here, like you said, you know, if it is Alicia's favorite recipe, like, oh, I want to be like Alicia, I want to cook what she cooks, you know, it bumps up that FOMO, you know, that fear of missing out, like, oh, if she's cooking and she looks that great because she's on a plant-based diet, like I want to do that too.
Yeah.
They could really play that up a little bit more here, and play around with some of the copy, like you said. The graphics are so similar that the copy could be different to see what's really resonating with their audience.
And they have like plenty of options, and they're all quite similar. So I think there's definitely maybe someone should offer their copy services for Veganuary. I've actually written for the Finnish one, like the animal rights organization that's organizing it in Finland. I've done like copy for them, like pro bono for the ads, and it's like one of the most fun like copy like assets I've ever written. It was really so much fun to get creative and try to like figure out which hook is gonna talk, like talk to people. Yeah,
I love writing ads.
yeah.
The other thing while you stop, I really wanted to mention was, yes, we're talking about ads and we're talking about like what works and what doesn't and how to get your audience's attention, but you mentioned the freebie, right? The lead magnet, so to speak. And I don't want our audience here to lose sight of how important it is to have a great product on the other side of the ads, right?
Yeah.
That's the foundation.
Yeah.
And we can talk all day about how to make your ads better and give our critiques to these brands and things like that. But until your lead magnet is really strong and really something that people are excited to get, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how great you're.
Yeah. And like on that, like remember that the point of the ad is to get the click. Like it's not, you don't need to sell the product yet. Like it's like we were talking about the like, or Bree mentioned the funnel. It's like at every step you need to, you know, put on your A game and and make sure that they follow.
All right. Should I go ahead and share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, before I do, I just remembered there was one other thing that came up when you were talking that I wanted to emphasize, because some people might not know what you were sharing. Do you want to talk about the ad library and how you access it?
Maybe you can do it if you're gonna share anyways. But yeah, like in Facebook, they have the ad library. I think you can go to any page and then find the about and then ad library. I think this is like the quick way. But if
so it's a great way if you have a direct competitor or you have someone you admire or that a brand that you look up to, and that's where you want to take your brand, to go to their Facebook page and look at the ads that they're running for inspiration. Even ones that are outside of your sector. So I'll go ahead and share my screen then.
Yeah.
All right. So I pulled a couple of brands that are in the plant-based food space and a couple that you might recognize from past episodes, or ones that are close to me. But what I did across all of these ads is really look at the balance between copy and the graphic, and how they're working together to draw the attention of your audience. So what I loved about Sprinly here is that they're showing versus telling, right? This is a giant graphic with big, clear, well-lit pictures of their product. So I don't have to wonder what organic plant-based meals are going to look like when they get to my door. I see it immediately in the ad and I'm like, ooh, I'm hungry. That looks delicious. Let me add this right now. That's the biggest thing that you can do for your ads, is create something that is going to stop the scroll. Because we're all on social media, just scrolling. What's going to make me stop? But then if we look into the caption here, what I really liked was plant-based diets work. You can tell because it's in all caps that they are addressing a pain point here. They're addressing a concern or an objection. And they immediately put the benefits out there and then pair it with a really delicious looking picture. I thought this was a really successful ad. And then similarly, this brand called So Yummy with Green Chef, they put out a more straightforward, here's your code to get a discount type of caption, but they paired it with a video that shows how you prepare the food. And it talks about when I was first going vegan, I was forced to eat soggy tofu, again, telling that pain point story, telling those concerns, but then showing their delicious product at the same time. And hey, this is the way that you can go if you feel like this. This is what's on the other side with our brand instead. So I thought this was a really successful video, pairing that story, a little bit of storytelling, talking to that pain point, but also showing versus telling, since the caption's all about the discount and what, like, all that left brain stuff. I'm saving money, I'm not overpaying, those sorts of things are addressed, but I also see what I'm getting at the same time. Does anything come up for you on these two? Oops, sorry.
I mean, I love this. I love the showing, not telling. I'm like salivating here, like watching this. It's like, it's really working. And like extra points for not showing a woman's face in the end, like putting it in her mouth. Like I really don't, I don't like that, like at all. It's like,
no, that's a good point. Because you can picture
like,
this being your hand making it.
Yeah, really. It's
yeah.
I love them. It's very like evokes the senses.
Definitely. And then similarly from last time, Mudwater, a brand very close to my heart with all they do in marketing. But what I liked about this is, again, a story and a reel. And why I brought up so many reels, everyone knows. Reels, video, any format, that's what's popular and what the algorithm is supporting right now. And so the more you can use it in ads in really creative ways, the more you're probably going to get traction on those ads. And with the disclaimer that we're recording this in November, and November and December, at least in the US, are big holidays. So the ad volume is higher, the prices are higher per click. And so I don't want people to look at this and be like, well, I put out a video, but my cost for lead acquisition is so high. Yep, you're doing it in a very hard time of year if you're putting them out right now. So don't lose hope if your costs go up. I promise you, video is working. And here's a really great example of that. this looks like a video that I filmed on my back patio, right? He's sitting very casually in a shirt and shorts, and he's telling his story about why he ditched coffee. Not only that, but he's showing the product too. So it's a testimonial. It's telling a story that your audience can identify with while featuring the product. It's entertaining and it's comfortable because it doesn't feel like you're selling to me. It feels like I'm talking to this guy on his back patio about coffee, right? And so it felt really comfortable for me. How does it resonate with you?
I want to try it. Like I think everybody loves the story and like the why, like why somebody wants to try something or what they thought of it. So I mean, I would probably watch this. Like I would click on it and watch it. And it's just what you mentioned. It just looks so like casual, like not like an ad at all. And I mean, this is what you should go for, that it feels very organic in the feed.
Absolutely. And speaking of not looking like an ad, what else is going to stop your scroll than a cute puppy picture, right? I want to see all my friends' dogs. And so when I saw this ad, I immediately stopped because I'm like, who got a new dog?
Yeah.
And then I realized it was an ad. And so that is when you know an ad is super successful. So this definitely stopped my scroll. It's an adorable dog. And then I realized it was an ad. But what's great about this ad is it's a full testimonial. They put the customer front and center. So again, you're identifying with another person and you are a potential customer yourself. So this is why Mick loves his calamilla oil. Wow. Whoo. I'm just realizing that they even kept the typo because it's camelina, but the customer did not spell it right. So it's super authentic, right? And you know that they're not trying to push this over from you. It builds trust. You get to hear about Mick and everything that he's experienced with the product. And it helps you feel like, hey, this could probably help my dog too. So I felt really good about this ad too. Again, it's casual. This is a cell phone picture in someone's living room. Like, it's not overproduced. You don't have to go overboard with your graphics. But that storytelling piece with something here that's going to stop the scroll, that looks like it's from a friend or a family member, that's where you're going to be the most successful, in my opinion.
Can you show it again, like from the top? I'm just like trying to look at it with like.
Yeah, let me see if I can zoom out. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I think one thing, because I'm just like in the lookout for a product for my senior dog's like joints, like something that would like help him. So I'm like, on the first glance, like if you go show the picture, like maybe like on top of the picture they could have like some like really key benefit or something, instead of like get started today or risk free. Like that would speak to me, for example, a little bit more. But I love the testimonial, but I'm a bit like, okay, what is it? What does the oil do? Like, I mean, I can guess without reading because I'm, have a dog, but yeah.
No, that's a great point. I'm really glad that you brought that up, because so much is relying on the graphics these days, right? That picture to stop the scroll. If they used something more compelling there in the title on the photo itself, I totally agree. That would make it a little bit better. I also, to that end, I'm glad you brought that up, because the title of the ad down here, right above the likes, I thought that was a little bit of a miss for me. They pulled out a sentence directly from him where they could have summarized his words in a more compelling way.
Yeah.
Your point, like if a major pain point is that my dog's fur is dull and his skin is dry, like say goodbye to dry skin and dull hair. Like, you know what I mean? Like they could have made it more compelling to the person that on the other side of the screen, me, that's experiencing that pain point with their animal. And then I would be compelled to read the testimonial.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad you brought that up. The last one is another type of ad that I've seen great results with. with products you're directly comparing and contrasting. Either two products, if you have a competitor and you want to call them out, they're really well known and you're doing something new and innovative and different that really addresses a pain point that they're not, that can be beneficial. Or you can do it generally like this brand did with coffee. So this is another coffee alternative, and they go point for point why they're better. And I thought that was really compelling. And while this is more of a salesy graphic, it's still short, to the point, and compelling. And it makes me want to read the longer caption above, because I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Coffee does trigger my anxiety. I'm kind of interested in this balancing mood product. Let me read more about it. And I love here that they kept an educational graphic with the Learn More CTA. So they really aligned everything in this ad so that the experience for the user here feels in alignment. So some of these, let's see, yeah, we have a Learn More, right? But the subtitle here is Unlock the Benefits of Plant-Based Meals, which feels more like, am I buying right now? So some of these, and like this one especially, with the here's your discount code and it's a Learn More, that should be a shop now, really, you know. And you have a bunch to choose from in the back end of Meta. So I would just be really intentional with, is the user experiencing this in the way that I want them to? Like, is it really a Learn More? Am I educating them here, or am I going for that sale here? Do I want them to buy through this ad? And that's something I thought was really successful with this Rasa ad, is they're educating, they're telling a story about it, about their product. So you try Rasa today and we'll send you a free French press. That's a whole month's worth of tasty brews, but you're learning more about the product. And could it be a shop now because it's try Rasa, $36 and a free press? Yeah, it could. And I might do an A/B test and, you know, test a shop now button and test a Learn More button. Or I might just change the title on this one, because personally I think that the graphic is so compelling from an educational standpoint that Learn More makes more sense.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I love the graphic. It's I love this compare. It's just so like educational. But yeah, I think you nailed your critique. I think those are some really, really good valid points. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, so that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in for our little deep dive on some ads that we were inspired by and some brands that we love. If an ad caught your eye this week, or if you have one in your ad glossary that you want us to look at, we'd be happy to do that and give you some feedback or answer any questions. We really want this to be a community where we can raise the bar in plant-based marketing and learn from each other. So please always feel free to send us examples or ask us questions.
Yeah, and if anything was unclear, just let us know. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll see you in December with a special guest. That's the only clue I'm giving.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.